Hey there, my name is Rohan Bhatt and this screencast is about Petty Cash Fund. What is a Petty Cash Fund? A Petty Cash Fund is an amount of cash kept on hand to pay for minor expenditures such as cleaning supplies. Majority of the businesses today that you interact with already have an established Petty Cash Fund. For example, cafes, restaurants, and even a huge multinational business like McDonald's has a Petty Cash Fund. There are 3 steps to make the Petty Cash Fund operational. First step is establishing the fund. To do so, we first write a check for the amount we want it to be in the fund. Secondly, we cash the check. And thirdly, the fund must get transferred and placed under the care of an employee designated as a custodian. To illustrate this, suppose that on the 1st of July, a business called Rohan's Bookstore decides to write a $100 check and cashed it to establish a fund and gave the cash to the custodian. On this day, Rohan would record the following journal entry. Notice how petty cash has increased, hence debited, and cash has decreased, hence credited. However, overall assets remain the same. Now we move on to the second step, which is making payments from the fund. It can be done in 2 different ways. Cash can be taken from the fund to make payments, or employees can seek reimbursement from the fund after making payments using their own money. Also, the custodians should always collect receipts for any purchases made, as no journal entries are made for payments from petty cash. The third and final step is replenishing the fund. To do so, the receipts are collected and the remaining cash is counted, and the company cashes the check that brings the fund back to its normal balance. To illustrate this concept, suppose that Rohan's Bookstore establishes a petty cash fund and prepared this. The report shows that a fund of $60 is to be fully replenished. Following this, a journal entry is created, and as you can see, expenses are debited and the cash is credited. This reduces both asset and equity. However, if the amount of cash needed to replenish the fund does not equal the total amount of receipts, you charge an account called cash over and short. This account shows the difference between actual ending cash balance versus expected amount of cash that can either have a debit or credit balance depending on the situation. Since cash needed to replenish the funds is higher than the total receipts, it is cash short. As you can see that the $5 difference is debited to cash over and short account. This indicates that an increase in expenses has occurred. Also, this reduces both asset and equity.